All right. What's going on, everybody? Hope you're having a wonderful Tuesday. Again, don't clean sticky tack off your walls with soap. Now I got to figure this out when I'm going to do my backdrop. But changes are coming, everybody. Again, I think probably the majority of y'all will be seeing this on replay. So please make sure you hit that like. Let me know if you're watching in the comments. I would really appreciate that. But have a big announcement that I'm wanting to get to, because Thursday night is going to be a very important and big night on David Talks Buffs. You're not going to want to miss it. And I've had the pleasure of interviewing a couple really big time YouTubers within the Colorado Buffaloes, Coach Prime space. Of course, Colin Moore from Life in Football. And then also, yesterday had the chance to interview Big Dog Chico. And there's a handful of different interviews that I'm trying to put together right now. I think I'll be meeting here at some point soon with Prime Sports Media. I gotta coordinate a good date for us to meet, but that one's coming soon. But a big time announcement that I'm wanting to get to is that I'm going to be having Bill Carroll on my show on Thursday evening, and he works for Consensus Draft Scouting Network, and he is their director of scouting for specifically the HBCU division within college football, but he oversees all sorts of different college scouting. He's probably watched the majority of these guys that get drafted and go pro every year. I've been following his work for years, for a very long time now, and he is so kind to do an interview with me, and I'm thrilled about it, because he's going to be able to give us some from a real NFL scout, what it looks like, for these guys to be going pro, what guys like, Shador Sanders, Alt McCaskill, the wide receivers, Travis Hunter, Cormai McLean, just how much NFL talent there is on this roster going into the 2023 season, what they need to continue to work on to improve their draft status, where he sees these guys. We'll talk about Coach Prime and kind of his whole strategy so far, but you don't want to miss that on Thursday night. I think it's going to be around 5 or 6 Mountain Time, still trying to work that out as well. But Bill Carroll, you aren't going to want to miss him. And please check in. Please let me know if you're in here. My dad's in here. Hey, Dad. It's awesome to have you here. But the other thing that I wanted to touch on here real quickly is something that I spoke about on Tuesday. I talked about it in my interview yesterday with Big Dog Chico, is what Tulane has done, and what are some of the similarities that we can take a look at. What are some of the themes that might be developing between Tulane and Colorado as well? Dev chiming in here saying, I say this all the time, when people say a program can't turn around that fast, I immediately mention Tulane, and this is the season. That's right. It went from 2-10 to 10-2. And I think if you count their bowl game, that would be 11-2, I think, right? Yeah, I think so. So, I mean, man, it's beautiful. Rose Bowl victory over a very good program in USC. And so I was just wanting to break that down here very quickly. Now, when we look at the Tulane depth chart from last year, what we see is, I'm just going to name this off for you all. Or rather, I guess I could share my screen, because then you can see what I'm seeing, and that will probably be a better way to go about things, right? You can see what I see. Yeah. So let's look at this here. Michael Pratt, he was a junior last year, and we can break him down here quickly in a minute, but he was another quarterback similar to Shador, coming in as a 3-star quarterback and started as a true freshman. So this was his 3rd year starting, and he took a big leap his junior year. And I think we can expect that for Shador as well. Then they had a big veteran running back, Tyjae Spears, now running back on the Titans, junior. And then at wide receiver, a bunch of depth and experience, Deuce Watts, Keys, redshirt junior, redshirt senior, Shea Watt, Jaquan Jackson, junior, And then the backup roles, they got some redshirt freshmen at tight end, couple seniors on the offensive line. They got a senior, a redshirt junior, another senior, a sophomore, and one more sophomore at right tackle. So if you're looking at the amount of underclassmen that this team was starting last year after going 2-10, it is it's their right guard and right tackle. That's it. Okay, that's it. Everybody else was an underclassman or upperclassman rather. So very experienced guys. Now let's take a look at the defense. Okay. We got a sophomore defensive end, red shirt sophomore nose tackle, and then we got a sophomore defensive tackle as well. So young on that defensive line. Again, at the defensive end, red shirt sophomore. But then when we get to the linebackers in the secondary, senior, junior, senior, junior, redshirt junior, more, and then we got a redshirt senior and another senior. So if you take those guys, I might have given Big Dog Chico the wrong stat yesterday. Man, I feel bad, but this should be even more of a case for Colorado now. Is they had 4 underclassmen starting on the defense and 2 underclassmen starting at on the offense at the on the offensive line. So that's 6 out of the 22 positions that you need on kind of your starting football team. So that leaves 16 spots filled by upperclassmen. And now, like, if we decide to take a look at, the Buffs scholarship chart, which I pulled up yesterday on Buff Zone, I highly suggest you use this to track the roster as we're awaiting, how this whole depth chart is going to play out. But you can see, I mean, we're bringing in a bunch of experienced guys where it's going to be very similar, if not, we're going to have even more of a ratio of upperclassmen to underclassmen starting. So this is going to take a little bit to load, but I'll go through and count it out, right now. Who I think is going to be starting from day one. Okay. We got Shador Jr. We got Alt McCaskill, who will be one of the few underclassmen starting along with Luis Passarello. I think is going to be that first one. Oops, got a little ad. So that's 2. Then we get to wide receiver, where I think we can all agree, like, those guys right here in this area are going to be the big dogs. We'll have Javon Antonio, Xavier Weaver, Willie Gaines, Jimmy Horn. Travis Hunter will be in there as a sophomore. So, I mean, I guess we could say 3 on offense in that regard. We look at the offensive line. Van Wells, Savion Washington, both sophomores as well. So that would be, let's see, 3. Well, okay, that would be 5 if they're starting now. Jack Wiltie could be there as well. Some people want to say, somebody like Tyler Brown or Isaiah Jada is going to be starting, or Landon Beebe. We'll just have to see, or Jack Bailey. We'll have to see kind of how all that shakes out. But then we look at the defense. I think we'll see our junior and senior group here get the majority of the snaps, maybe with Bishop Thomas, Amari McNeil, Zach Blackwood kind of entering more playing time as the season goes on. At that edge room, I think it's going to be pretty obvious that we'll have Jordan Dominic and Derek McClendon starting there at the edge position, spelled by what's going to be a very talented edge room as well. At inside linebacker, I mean, this could be up for grabs. Really, anybody. I think even some of the true freshmen have the ability to grab a starting position. It's a very talented group, but we don't really know who's going to separate themselves ahead of the rest. But right now, if I had to put money on it, I'm guessing it's going to be Demoy Kennedy and Levante Bentley there at linebacker. At corner, I think we'll see Travis Hunter and Cormani McLean start. So that would take us to 6 underclassmen starting right now for the Buffs. And then at safety, I think we'll see a combination of Shiloh, Cameron Silman Craig, Miles Slusher, Trevor Woods, Roderick Ward, and Travis J, Vito Tisdale. I mean, we'll see all those guys get on the field. But if we're looking at this whole roster, I mean, it is it's identical in kind of how it is constructed in terms of expected starters. And what's great is that even though this is a brand new team, brand new starters, all of that, we're going to be bringing in guys that have playing experience. Most of these guys that are going to be starting were starting or playing significant time at another program at big time college football. So I'll go ahead and stop sharing there. I'll kind of hop in and see if anybody else is saying anything else. What's up, Gearhead? Says Day Day McDougal, gotta love that name. Absolutely. Cindy Jones says blessings, everyone. Absolutely. Yeah, thank you all for chiming in. Yeah, let me know if you're here. And yeah, the other thing I wanted to dive into a little bit is just with Michael Pratt, with where he was at as a quarterback coming into his freshman year and kind of where he performed that junior year. And I think it's something that we can hope for and expect for when we see Shedeur take the field this year as well. So I'll go ahead and share my screen again. Let's see. There we go. All right. We should be here. Again, Michael Pratt brings a lot of the same size. Shedeur has as well. I think Shedeur is about 6'2", 215 pounds or so, and continuing to put on muscle. But you see just a big improvement happening here with his performance from his freshman year through his junior year. And I really do think after you get a couple years playing college football, you usually do take a big jump that third year because your body is where it needs to be as a top level collegiate athlete. You understand how I guess like how more professionalized, I guess, or intense things are compared to high school. You're within those rhythms. You know how to work, studying film on a higher level, all of that. And maybe if you've been a good student, especially during the summer and winter periods, you're not taking as many classes. That's always nice. So you do have more time to work on your game, which is always convenient. But I mean, we see a big jump here from Michael Pratt. His completion percentage jumping up from 55% to 63. We see his yards increasing substantially by 1,200. We see his TD to interception ratio has actually been very good and consistent, but you see his quarterback rating jumped almost 30 points into his junior year. And it's talked a lot about at the NFL level. I don't feel like the quarterback position is talked nearly enough in college football. It is truly so important to have a top end quarterback, just like it is on any other level of football. If you have the better quarterback, most likely you are going to win. And now CU is put in the position where I think with Shedeur, they got one of the top quarterbacks within the Pac-12 right now. And because of that, they're going to be winning more games and they're going to be competitive and keeping it close in certain games that, I mean, CU would have had no shot, last year, 2 years ago, 4 years ago. But yeah, just wanting to get your thoughts on that very briefly. This is going to be a shorter live stream, but overall, I just wanted to get out here. It's been a long day, but wanting to kind of show this case study that Coach Prime, we have seen this model followed before in terms of going from a bad team to a good team. Now, of course, Tulane's coach had been there for a while, and these guys were playing previous to that. I mean, they didn't have a big transfer class last year either. I think they brought in maybe somewhere, I think, between 7 and 10 guys going into last season. Tulane did. So these are guys that have had college football experience. And I mean, you've seen it with the 2016 Buffs team under Mike McIntyre. That was, they had losing seasons. And then once everybody was seniors, when the majority of those starters were seniors, they went out and won the Pac-12 South and, got to a big time bowl game and all that, which was very exciting. So give me 1 second and I will continue this discussion for just a little bit, 5 more minutes. And Wanting to hit on this too, Mac211 says Omarion Cooper should start on one of the corner spots. His size and athleticism will be hard to keep off the field. Yeah. Um, I think you're going to see a lot of Omarion Cooper. I think with Cormani McClain, I think you will see him a lot as well. But again, this is the Pac-12 where things are really spread out. You're going to see, 3-4 wide receivers multiple times, or throughout the game for the majority of it. You're going to see a lot of these guys. I wouldn't be surprised too if safety Vito Tisdale plays some corner as well. He has the ability to do that. But yeah, Mac, you're definitely right. I think Omarion Cooper is going to be a guy that really stands out here, and we're going to get to know him as a playmaker really quick. Hey, John, thanks for tuning in. I appreciate it. Lean German, of course. Good to see you. 3 months to go. Cindy Jones. I don't know if I said hi to you before. I'm sorry if I didn't, but good to see all of you in the chat. Really appreciate it. Again, wanting to announce that on Thursday, I'm going to be interviewing director of HBCU scouting at gosh, I always forget it. Bill Carroll. He's a longtime NFL draft scout. This is what he's done for his career over at Consensus Draft Scouting. It's an independent scouting service that provides the best information about pro prospects, and we have more free content than anyone. So definitely go and subscribe to them or follow them on Twitter at CDS Draft. That's all it is. But very excited to have Bill Carroll on here again. He's been somebody that I've been following for a long time. His college football roundups he does on a weekly basis on the Zenny 62 media YouTube channel. He's a contributor over there. That's how I was introduced to him 3 years ago. And his draft coverage this year for the entire NFL draft, not just HBCU specific, but definitely with Coach Prime and some of the players coming over here from Jackson State. I thought that he would be a perfect person to interview for this. He's been credentialed to report it like the NFL Combine and the NFL Draft and all of that. So he's you're going to love him. You're going to love his personality. And he's just he's a lot of fun. He's a lot of fun. And I'm thrilled to have him on here. And this is going to be a little bit different for us. It's been great to continue to interview with other members of the YouTube community for the Buffs and Coach Prime. And I'm going to have more on. I got to work out some time with Prime Sports Media. Got to get back to his Twitter DM. But this interview with Bill Carroll is going to be on Thursday night. Still ironing out the time. I think it will be between 5 and 6 Mountain Time. So whatever works with his schedule as well. But wanted to let y'all know about that. I'm going to go ahead here and get running, but appreciate everybody's time, support, your engagement. I know I have a heck of a lot of comments to get back to over the last few days that y'all have left me. And I got to catch up hopefully tonight. Work's been very busy the last 2 days. So, I mean, that's just what happens. And then hopefully I can get, this soap off the walls. So I appreciate you all again. Thank you for the support, and please like and comment. And I'll let y'all know on Twitter when I get this live stream set for Thursday night with NFL Draft Scout Director Bill Carroll on there. So until then, thank you for your time. And as always, Go Buffs.